Hello everybody, Francesco here with my human experience live, where I share my human experience every day, probably for the rest of my life. These days are very important days, I believe. This is the time has come where choice is necessary to be made, to choose one side, and it's not so much about choosing a side in a sense that I need to fight anybody. It's a choice to choose whether I am going to say yes or I'm going to say no. And today I've started saying no because yesterday I had a phone call with an old friend that informed me that from today it's compulsory to wear a mask even outside. And when I've heard that, I started researching, and I found out that it's actually uh, it goes against the law to go around with your face covered. But this doesn't concern me much. To be honest, I don't do things because they are law. I do things because I believe to be right. And since this thing started, to me, I've seen that something is a right, because in the past 10 years I've been looking after my health. I conquered my health. I feel healthy, I feel energetic, and I feel I don't depend on what anybody else is doing. I own my own health. And I also realized that the government and all that is imposing this basically dictatorship, what is imposing all these rules, has never cared for my health. Never. Like, I made my own research. I made a video a few days ago sharing all the numbers, and apparently the biggest the biggest cause of premature death are cardiovascular disease, cancer, and respiratory disease. And the 90% or so reason why people develop these diseases is because either smoking, drinking, or eating bad diet. And this is totally in everybody's hands, and the government never cared about doing anything about these three things, which are major. And so I don't trust the government with making choices for my health, because I know it's not about health. I know all this is happening is not about health. Why I know? Because I care about my health. And if it was really about health, I would do what the government told me to do. But it's not about health. So what happened today? Yesterday I made this research, and apparently the actual law in Italy, the constitutional law in Italy, is stating that is is against the law to go around public places with your face covered, and that's the law. And the only thing that can change that law, that you can actually create another law on the spot, like they've been doing so far, is by being in a state of war. But we are not in a state of war yet. So I went around today without a mask, and before, to be honest, I used to wear a mask in shops because I need to go and buy my shop, and I didn't want to argue every time. I say, okay, I'm gonna wear a mask. But this time that they decided for me that I should wear a mask even outside, what I did, I started going in shops without a mask, and I started arguing. And that's my choice. And I'm not actually arguing. I love the person who was speaking to today, which was the cashier, who told me, look, I don't agree with this shit, but I need to put up to this, and do you also have to do it? Otherwise, you have to get out of here. And I say, okay, fine, but why you do that? You say, because it's the law. I say, no, it's not the law. And I brought him this, which is saying all the different laws, and it's also saying that it's against the law to ask somebody to go against the law. So I told him all these things, and he told me that this is just a piece of paper. It doesn't do anything with this. I say, yeah, this is a piece of paper, but it's representing the Italian Constitution. So at the end, I went outside. He served me the fruits and vegetables outside, and we agree to disagree, and we part ways in a very respectful way. But this is, what I'm gonna do from now on. I'm gonna say no, because it's enough. It's enough. You cannot tell me that I need to. I am a criminal just because I'm walking outside breathing fresh air. This is ridiculous. This is too much. I cannot let this happen any further. And then everybody will take their own responsibility. I take my responsibility, and I'll pay the consequences of whatever fine. It's 400 euros fine if they catch you without a mask on, and I'll get the fine. I'll tell the police officer what is going against, and I'll play my cards, because eventually it's about doing what's right. Because if we only follow what's coming from up, and if what's coming from up isn't right, isn't doing the right thing for us, for our families, then we all going into the same cliff. And if humanity was like that, I don't think we would be at this point right now with all these rights that we have. So I'm thankful for people who fought for me to have these rights now, and I left to play my part now. And I'm not gonna fight in a sense that I'm gonna hate anyone. I love everyone, I respect everyone, and I will peacefully disobey to these bullshit rules that have been posed to me. This is what I had to share for today. And yeah, we take responsibilities, and everybody will pay the consequences for what they're putting out. So thank you so much, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Ciao. Bye bye.